we have one more story for you. Coming all the way from India, we have a storyteller who used to live in Bahrain, but now lives in India. His hobbies are writing and music, and Janay Sanghani is going to entertain us with a story. Over to you, Janay.
Yeah, thank you so much. Our future is like a coin. It has two sides to it, a heads and a tails. But when we flick it, we don't know what's going to come. Dear friends, a lot of questions might be erupting in your minds right now. But before you ask, let me tell you the story of a young boy called John. John was a young boy of 14. He was sporty, he did good in his academics. He lived an average life, a normal life. But he had one small dilemma. He had a huge obsession for knowing what's going to happen to him in the future. Anytime anyone tried to strike up a conversation with John, all they would be talking about was what was going to happen in the future. Now, because of this obsession of his, he fell into lots of problems. Once, John was reading the newspaper and an ad captured his eye. He was captivated to it in a second. It read, "Know your future, what lies in front of you." And there was given a number of an astrologer. He called the astrologer and asked, "Hey, I'm interested, can I come over?" But when he heard the fees, he was heartbroken. It was rupees 10,000 per visit. Now, John was a very middle-class boy. He did not have money for such extravagances. But his temptation and his inquisitiveness took over him. And with a regretful heart and mind, he stealthily went and took the money from his father's locker. Now, he went to the astrologer, and the astrologer took his palm in his hands, muttered some hocus pocus, abracadabra, and said, "John, you're going to be successful. John, you're going to be rich." Now, all of you might think John was a little immature because of his obsession, but no. John was a very smart boy, the smartest in the room. He looked at his phone and said, "Sir, if you can predict my future so well, let me ask you something. There is a football match going on and its last 3 minutes. The score is 1-1. Which team do you think will win?" And the astrologer was stumped. He had no answer. John, with anger burning inside him, got up and was about to leave when the astrologer said, "Hey, pay the money." Now, poor John had no option but to waste his money on nonsense, useless things. With a heavy heart, he walked back home. When he reached home, his father was standing on the porch. His father asked him, "John, you know, 10,000 rupees are missing from my locker." John said, "Yes, father, I had taken it." Whack! John's father slapped him, and John staggered behind. Tears welled up in John's eyes. From the porch, he ran away from the home. Now, it started drizzling. Slowly, slowly, this drizzle turned into a heavy downpour. John was shivering and was walking through the park in the rains. As he was walking, he saw an old man sitting under the bridge with no clothes on, and he was shivering badly. John felt pity and immediately took out his jacket and gave it to the old man. The old man said, "May God bless you to make you whatever you want to be." John said, "Ha, even I've been trying to find out what I want to be." The old man asked, "Why is that? What is happening?" About this dilemma of his, about his inquisitiveness. So when the old man asked that question, John rambled out his entire story on how he was obsessed with his inquisitiveness of knowing the future. The old man gestured him to sit beside him. He took out a small book from his bag and told John, "John, open this book, young man." John opened that book and he saw a man who was so money-minded, who was corrupt. He had no family. Well, he had a wife and kids, but none of them loved him because he was cruel, he was sly, he was a very bad man. John was horrified at the thought of such an evil man. He promptly shut the book and gave it to the man. The man said, "John, this is you in the future." John was shocked. He had no thoughts at all. Tears came into his eyes, wondering, how can I become such a person like that? So cruel, so money-minded. He told the old man, "If this is what I'm going to become, I don't want to live." He was about to go to kill himself, but the old man caught hold of his wrist and told him to sit down. He said, "John, open the book once more." John, with tears in his eyes, said, "No, how can I see myself like that?" But the man firmly said, "John, open the book." John unwillingly opened the book with trembling hands. But what he saw was shocking, mesmerizing, amazing. He saw a happy man, not that rich. A man who spent most of his money on treating the poor, on caring for the needy. He had a beautiful wife with 2 kids who loved him more than anything in the world. John said, "I wish this could be me. So happy, not rich, but happy." He shut the book and was about to go when the old man said, "John, this is also you." John was amazed. He said, "How can I have 2 futures?" The man said, "John, a future is like this coin. It has 2 sides, a heads and a tails. But it's on us on what to select. If you put more weightage on your positive actions, on actions that you can make other people happy, then you will be the happy man. But if you're rude, if you're selfish, then my friend, you're going to be that cruel man you saw in the book." He said, "Each and every action you do, John, matters. So make sure you always do positive things." The man flicked the coin and vanished from there. John did not know who that was. But now John was happy because he knew what to do and he knew what the future held for him. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Janay. You have surely developed a good art of storytelling.